We made this.
Welcome to the Right in the Childhood podcast with your hosts Fraser and Mark. I'm Fraser.
I'm Mark, hello.
And the whole premise of this show is we're from two different generations, but we also sort of share a generation as well.
Sort of.
So Mark's Generation X Millennial sort of like borderline thing. And I'm Millennial Gen Z borderline.
Sort of.
A lot of sort ofs there.
Yeah. That's the thing, we've got no real...
definitive
No.
Because there's different articles telling us we're different things, so we've just gone a bit fluid with it. But the whole premise of this show is we take shows from our respective childhoods, and for one of us, we're giving it a sort of rewatch with a lot of nostalgia goggles, and for the other person, well, every time so far, it's a new show for them, and they sort of see it without those goggles on and without the nostalgia, and sort of can be a bit more critical, or they can sing the praises of it.
Let's go with objective rather than critical.
Objective sounds about right.
You just don't like it when I diss your shit.
No, but I also feel like I'm a bit harsh on some of your stuff as well. And there are times where I'm like, I kind of wish I had nostalgia for this because it would make it better. Maybe a little nostalgia would help with this trip. And, everyone loves a bit of nostalgia now and then.
They wouldn't be listening to this podcast if they didn't like nostalgia.
Exactly. Unless they're watching one from, if they're in a different generation than us and they're like, huh, what is this?
Right, I don't get why you've picked this week's selection, though.
Right.
Normally the whole point is we pick something we've got fond memories of, and you've picked something that you've explicitly said you didn't like.
No, this is something that I have mixed memories with. It's a love-hate thing. It's Hannah Montana. You've seen it on the title. You can tell in Mark's voice it's not going to be a good time. This is part of my Disney crossover. I did a big one with Disney animation, and I've not buried the lead this time. I'm doing another crossover, and Hannah Montana's a big one in this crossover, and another live action crossover that we're going to do as well. So this isn't the only time you're going to see Hannah Montana, but we've always talked about the show, how big a part Disney played in my childhood, and it was one of those things where it was a channel that my sister and I could agree on. I liked my sports, or I'd like different stuff. She liked her stuff. Disney was a part where we could meet in the middle. Now, this didn't always mean that the shows on Disney were a meet in the middle situation. But what I will say is, I did like watching Hannah Montana the first or second time. When we had to watch the same episodes over and over again, that was when young Fraser was not very happy about that. For some reason, I've grown out of that. I'll rewatch stuff over and over again. I can't count how many times I've watched How I Met Your Mother. But a younger Fraser did...
I can count how many times I've watched How I Met Your Mother.
Once.
Each episode, one time. And do you know how many times I intend to watch each episode?
Just once.
One time.
But, there is that sort of... It's almost like people compare it to, comfort food, comfort television of, it's a show you know nothing's going to... you're not there to be shocked, you're just there to be comforted. And I sort of get that. I did not get that with Hannah Montana.
No.
There was times... and the thing that annoyed me was... There was Disney Channel, there's Disney Channel Plus One, and I was like, Ellie, there is literally a new show that we haven't seen yet that we could be watching. Why are we choosing to watch this Hannah Montana episode again? And I was... it hurt me each time. But watching these episodes for the first time, great, enjoyed them, liked the characters, liked Miley, who's played by Miley Cyrus, and this she's Miley Stewart. Loved her dad. I won't spoil who plays her dad because I think you all might like that. I liked her friends as well. Her brother Jason was alright as well. He was pretty funny. I think I'm trying to remember. I remember the actors, but I can't remember their characters. But there's Mitchell Musso and there was Emily Osmond, who was one of my young crushes at the time. Again, similar to sort of like Ashley Stone, who talked about last time, I was saying I think young Fraser really liked the tomboy things because that was the kind of girls that would actually hang out with young Fraser.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I liked football, and they're like, oh yeah, he likes, yeah, my first girlfriend was sort of like that tomboy sort of thing. And yes, it started off with fond memories. There's catchy songs in it as well. I will still blast out a Hannah Montana song every now and then. You know, living a double life is hard, and you know, nobody is perfect. And
I'll be honest about this show. I have never seen a single episode. No. I do know what it's about.
As well.
No, I'm not watching that.
No, we're not.
It's about a girl who's a pop star. I can't say that that's something I particularly want to watch, but I can't get behind Miley Cyrus because of the way she behaved when she had a disagreement with Sinead O'Connor. I just don't think it's very nice to mock someone's mental health problems.
No.
And Sinead O'Connor was trying to help her and trying to explain how she could potentially be exploited by the music business. And she just took the piss.
Yeah.
And she was really unpleasant. And all the public saw. And I'm sorry, I just got no time for Miley Cyrus at all after that.
I like her new stuff's been quite good. She's very similar to like Taylor Swift, where she sort of opened up about like her history stuff and like her grievances, such as the one with Sinead O'Connor. Like she's gone into things where it's like, I've messed up, and like,
did she actually apologise?
There's
for
a
it
lot
in the
of
end?
Yeah. There's a lot of ownership.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of ownership as well. Like
I didn't know that.
It's a similar thing with like Justin Bieber as well. Has gone through a lot of stuff. Like all these artists, you know, they will make mistakes, but like the thing is, like they're young, but now they're sort of they apologise for it and they find ways of sort of trying to redeem themselves. And I think a lot of it.
Oh well, fair play. I didn't know she'd done that.
Her recent album as well sort of goes into sort of stuff like the trouble she's facing, stuff like that, and not really realising that people were there for her, like I'm effed up and all this sort of stuff.
You can say fuck Fraser.
I know, but I don't want to. I chose not to.
Okay, dear.
Thank you. I want to be on that Disney Channel one day. But there's a lot of like ownership to it, and again, because it's been sort of like these albums have been released during like the quarantine time, I think a lot of artists have time for, you know, reflection. I think that's helped.
That's good. You know, I'm all about people learning and developing and owning their mistakes, and
she has become
better,
she's become a big advocate as well for mental health, which is, you know, it's good to see. Like,
good. You see, I literally switched off to her as a person the moment she had that thing with Sinead O'Connor, and it's one of the reasons I really didn't want to watch this show is I just don't want to support her. No. But that says something about me as much as it says about her, is I stopped giving her the benefit of the doubt.
With one error, like, I think it
was a particularly unpleasant error, but, you know.
I think it's one of them as well, like, it just shows how terrible that sort of, like, media thing is, because, like, it has destroyed artists like Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus and, like, Justin Bieber, like,
Sinead O'Connor.
The amount of stuff they've had to, like, go through. And sometimes, like, I can't even imagine, like, everyone's saying you're this biggest star, and when you're going through these mental things, like, even someone coming out to help you, just like, no, you just don't think anyone can understand.
Yeah,
Everything's been about you, so when those issues arise, you feel like those issues are all about you, and no one else can sort of deal with it.
Yeah. To
sort of go back to the show and get a bit more light-hearted with it, you're sort of on the part with the premise of the show, but it's a little bit different. It's a double life sort of situation. It's like a superhero show in a way. There's a duality there. So Miley Cyrus plays two characters in this. She plays Miley Stewart, who's just, you know, normal girl, wants to go to high school by day. And then by night, she puts on a blonde wig and she becomes Hannah Montana, and she's like this international pop star. It's the whole thing of like, surely someone should have known that she was the two people, but, you know, it's the Clark Kent glasses. No one, unless they're looking for it, no one sort of sees it. And there's that sort of message behind it. It's like, unless you're looking for the Superman, you just see Clark Kent.
It sounds like what would be my nightmare of a Buffy reboot.
What if there was... So chasing vampires, she's chasing singles.
The duality thing, I've seen it done well in stuff like Buffy and Superman and things like that. but
just superheroes.
I can't say I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh no, I know you're not. But I have put a little buffer in for you. So the episodes I'm watching the pilot as per. There's 2 episodes that I've chosen, and both have cameos in, which I feel like you're going to enjoy.
Okay.
We already talked about one cameo last time, so I will say that's there.
What cameo?
Do you remember it?
No.
Oh, that's good then. Okay. So these 2 cameos are going to be a surprise for you.
I'm not watching 3 episodes.
Yeah, we're watching 3 episodes.
3 fucking episodes?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch 1.
You made me watch that bloody Chimera BS.
I made you watch 1 episode of Chimera.
And it felt like a lifetime. It definitely felt longer than an hour. These are only they're less than 20 minutes as well.
Fuck my life. 3 episodes of Hannah Montana.
But you're we can skip the pilot if you want and just the cameos.
No, I need to watch the pilot.
There you go. No, the theme song says it all. You get the limo out front. Ooh, whoa. She's got the limo out front, but then she goes, lots of woes.
I don't want to watch this, Fraser. Genuinely, everything that you've brought to the table so far, I've at least given the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
This one, fuck me. Ugh.
Yeah. It was bound to happen. There's got to be a time, where these shows aren't going to be great, and we've always come up with I think you'll like this, or I think you'll like this. You tried to play horror with me, so I played hardball. I played hardball very meanly. Yeah,
but I at least had a story behind why I picked the horror.
Yeah, I've got a story to why I picked this. I think it's an interesting... Right. It was a bit... I'm not saying it to sort of rib you or to sort of be like, haha, I got you. Hannah Montana was a big part of my childhood, and I'd still say it's a fond memory as well, because it's that thing of, it was a thing with my sister. It was, we enjoyed watching it together, but then we'd bicker when, it was, I was like, oh, come on, Elliot, this is the 4th or 5th time we've seen it. Now, to give my younger self the benefit of the doubt, I do feel like my sister played this a ridiculous amount. She's the opposite end of you. She will watch a film continuously for days after days, lasting months, even years. The amount of time she's watched A Cinderella Story and A Fault in Our Stars is ridiculous. And she does the same now with Friends. She'll just constantly have Friends on, and just any chance that she's got the TV, it's going to be Friends. So I feel like she used to do that with Hannah Montana.
See, I don't do that much. I do it occasionally with a few telly shows, Buffy, like Doctor Who.
But I feel like if I do that, I change the show. Once I've watched the show all the way through, I'll go to a different one. My sister will do, last episodes of Friends. Okay, we're playing the first one again.
No, I'm not that bad. I wouldn't do that.
I know there are people who are like that, but I don't know. It's when you've got, select shows, it's at least have, 2 or 3 to choose from. But hey, to each their own. If that's your way of enjoying television.
I'm going to do my best on this to try and find some positives.
I think you'll like the cameos, but that's all I can promise. And who plays her dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Presume it's Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah.
Don't tell his heart.
His achy, breaky heart.
I just don't think he'd understand.
You know what one of the worst parts about that song he did, I wanna take my home to the hotel home.
Yeah.
Right, is that there's going to be a whole generation of kids that are going to know Billy Ray Cyrus from that song, and that breaks my achy breaky heart. I don't think he does sing in this.
Does he sing Achy Breaky Heart?
I can't promise that he sings Achy Breaky Heart, but I feel like if he owns it, maybe he did. I do have memories of them 2 singing together.
I mean, good.
Yeah, maybe. The limo's out front. Do you want to?
Have you ever been in a limo?
No, I've not.
I have.
Yeah. Wait, were you really Mark Manchester?
No, I'm not Mark Manchester.
Oh, sorry, no. You've been Mark Montana.
Well, I mean, surely
or Hannah Mark Tanner.
Should
we stick on some blonde wigs for this?
No.
For the audience, should we pretend that we stuck on some blonde wigs for this?
And anyway, I wouldn't be Mark Manchester. I'd be Mark Wolverhampton.
No, you're definitely Hannah Mark Tanner.
Hannah Mark Tanner.
I like that. I'll be Hannah.
I don't.
Hannah Manchester.
Can be Hannah fuck off. That wasn't particularly witty, but I'm in a bad mood.
Hannah Mood. Just Hannah Mood Tanner.
Jesus wept. Let's watch this.
Are we
shit.
delaying the inevitable? Let's go.
Yeah, let's watch this.
Available
shit.
on Disney Plus.
Fuck my life.
Thank you for listening to Right in the Childhood. We've been overwhelmed by the love and support we've received from our listeners. If you're enjoying the show, you can buy us a coffee via our coffee website. That is coffee.com/Right in the Childhood. KOFI.com/Right in the Childhood. There's no subscriptions or anything like that, so just buy us a coffee if you fancy. We do this for the love, but it's always good to get brought a drink. P.S. Neither of us actually enjoy coffee, we'll probably spend it on a vegan table.
Coming soon from the We Made This network. A podcast covering the entire Child's Play franchise, films, the new TV series, and more. Chucky Vision. Wanna play?
The wigs are off, Mark. We're back. We watched the pilot of Hannah Montana. We watched season 2, episode 20 of Hannah Montana with Dolly Parton. That was one of 3 episodes that she appeared on, and it was called I Will Always Love You. Bit of a nod to the song. And then we watched season 4, episode 7, Love That Let's Go, and that featured a cameo by John Cena. So what were your thoughts on Hannah Montana? And
I didn't enjoy it. I'll be honest.
As to be expected.
I liked Dolly.
Dolly's appearance, I did see, there was a lot of misery going on in your corner, and there was a part of me that did feel bad. Until I saw the slight resemblance of a smile when Dolly Parton appeared. And that was why I was like, we've got to put a Dolly episode on. And then when there was 3, I was like, maybe I should just show him all. Like, when I was thinking about doing Hannah Montana, because I was like, I knew it was part of the crossover, and I knew it was a big part of my childhood. I just want to start off by saying every moment of this episode was ingrained in my brain. I knew the gags before they were happening, and I was like, I've watched this too many times. But it's been years since I've seen it, and I was like, why are they in my brain?
I can confirm that you were joining in with some of the jokes. I was like, for fuck's sake, they're not funny without you.
And I was like, why do I know this? But it wasn't one of those things. It was like, you know in the film where there's like, they stick in their eyes and the Clockwork Orange, and they're like forced to, and it all just gets in their brain and they repeat it.
Are you comparing Hannah Montana
No.
to Clockwork Orange?
No, I'm comparing watching Hannah Montana like being in Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Is where you get, and it just gets input in your brain, or it's like, it's just all psychological, and it all gets deep. Honestly, if they were to do like a shot-for-shot remake of Hannah Montana, I'm pretty sure I could do a one-man show with like that's not a good thing. No. For a show that I wouldn't say I loved. It was okay watching it. I really enjoyed the Dolly Parton and John Cena cameos, especially because at this time, when John Cena appeared on it, I think it was like 2010. This was when I started watching wrestling, and this episode was perfect for me and my sister because it's got a lot of horse riding elements in. So that's like what my sister was loving, and then it had John Cena in, who did a FU or attitude adjustment, whatever you want to call it, and then did his 5-knuckle shuffle. And I was
2010,
like,
I think it was the attitude adjustment.
Yeah,
actually.
probably would have. Yeah, if he's on Disney, it's got to be the attitude adjustment.
But only just.
Yeah, just.
might have been the FU. This is 12 years ago.
2010. No, 2010 it would have been the Attitude Adjustment. That's
fair
yeah,
enough.
very much more the PG era. Just to give you a little brief of each episode. The pilot, we're introduced to Hannah Montana and Miley Stewart, sort of the double life, and we're also introduced to her best friend Lily, her brother Jackson, her dad Robbie Ray, played by Billy Ray.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Don't tell his heart.
His achy breaky heart. Did this break your achy breaky heart?
I just don't think he'd understand.
No.
What I want to say is one of the first lines of Series 1, Episode 1 of Hannah Montana was about screaming on the inside, and you looked at me and you could see that I was screaming on the inside.
Are you screaming on the inside? That was very fun. If we were ever to do have you seen those shows where there's they'll react to something, or they'll do I think it's that Mystery Science 300. That would have been a perfect moment for that. But yeah, we're introduced, and the whole theme of this episode is that Miley doesn't want to tell Lily a secret. Lily finds out, and then there's that sort of... Miley's big concern is that if people found out she was Hannah Montana, like this throughout the series, no one would want to... no one would treat her as Miley. She wants that. And that's... You know what? That's understandable, because Miley Cyrus is an example of... Your life can be sort of changed and sort of ruined because of being in the starlight. So it makes sense that the premise makes sense that a character would want this. And then there was a nice sort of thing. I saw a cool little friendship storyline here of Lily accidentally says Hannah, and then that's a big thing of it has changed, and
it's almost like when you say your ex's name when you're in bed.
It wasn't perfectly executed like I feel like other Disney sitcoms have done. I definitely feel like Zack and Cody and That's So Raven are stronger contenders, but I definitely feel like this show was still good at helping teach lessons for kids, but I do feel that it did it in a more cringy sort of overacting way. And I don't know whether that's because Miley Cyrus, great singer, but not as great actor as a as a Cole and Dylan Sprouse or as a Raven Simone, if that makes sense. I
don't know. Of all the ones you've shown me, including the Nickelodeon ones, this one just was there. I did manage to at least concentrate on all the other ones, whereas this one I did just find myself drifting off and going, oh, fucking hell.
Until Billy Ray came on. So
yeah, okay. If we're going to do some positives...
Billy Ray.
It was a curveball that Lily found out that she's Hannah Montana in episode 1. I thought that was at least interesting and played with the format.
Usually they prolong it, don't they, for a long time.
Yeah, and Billy Ray Cyrus was mildly entertaining in comparison to the others.
Yeah. There was a cool little cameo as well with... It won't be relevant, it'll go way over your head, but Corbin Bleu was a big part of High School Musical, and he was also a big part of Disney. He got his own film in it. I think it was called... Jump It Out or something. It was to do with it was a weird skipping film. It made skipping seem like such a cool competitive sport.
A film, 90 minutes about skipping.
But it was a skipping tournament. You know, how Pitch Perfect made a cappella seem cool. They did that, but with skipping. It was
skipping,
competitive skipping, proper jump rope. I think it's Jump Start or Jump It Out or something. No, I'm not going to Google it.
Prick.
I'm not going to Google it.
The fact that exists.
Yeah.
Is there a Disney film about tiddlywinks?
No, but that's the thing of there is a mark. You know what I mean? There is a sport to skipping. There's those people competitive
sport to
tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Tiddlywinks the movie. Get on it, Disney.
Get on it. Maybe they've already done it. To be honest, I can't. One thing I do remember from this show is the incredible transition in the title between where she spins and she's Miley and then she's Hannah, and I was like, yep, that is the theme and the whole intro. Again, in my brain, I was like, as soon as someone says it, I can just picture that, and it was an experience, man. We also met Oliver, he's one of them who definitely gets better either the less you see of him or in later seasons, because man, he was so shallow with something. It's that thing of, I can tell I was asexual as a kid, and I can tell I was I don't know if it's my asexuality that does this, but the thing of boys obsessing over girls always seems creepy in these shows to me, and it always seems creepy in stuff like animes and just a lot of stuff like the way, like, I don't know if it's the way men's gaze is portrayed is so creepy, and in a way sometimes guys can be creepy when they gaze upon like guys or girls or guys. But I'm just like, I'm so sick of seeing it on TV, just being like, hubba 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 hubba, like, or like, I can do this, I can do, like, oh, you're a supermodel, and it's just like, why is every boy's fantasy portrayed as this? It's like, it's why I'm longing to see more asexuals on screen who are just like, you know what, I like you because of your personality. I don't care that you're a supermodel or whatever.
So, I think it's lazy writing,
Yeah.
but I also think probably at that age, it's probably a way of depicting the obsessive crushes that young sexual men have.
There's a high chance that I'm the outlier here.
No, it's still creepy.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time when we've rewatched stuff like this, it's got to the point where the kids should have been told to back off, or the kids should have been told what you're doing is wrong, and they weren't in some of the stuff we've been watching.
Because the thing with Miley and Corbin Blue's character, that sort of crush thing, it was cute. Like, Miley was, dorky in front of her, and she was trying to put ketchup on her burger, but because she was so, like, lost in his eyes, she put ketchup on his hands, and she's like, joked off, it's like, oh, it's a moisturiser. And then she puts it on his hands, and he's like, that was cute, and I was like, why can't that be switched to the fingers? Like, why does it always have to be so creepy with
I don't know,
the guys?
Because I think it's partially based on truth. Because boys don't learn.
They're just always creeping.
No, I'm not saying it's the boys' fault. I'm saying it's society's fault. That girls are supposed to be all shy and giggly when they like someone, whereas boys are supposed to be tits.
So, but surely, if like you're a TV show, you're a major influence on society. So if you're portraying it in this way, it's going to be an endless circle. You're portraying it this way, so society sees it this way. But then because society sees it this way, you go, oh, we've got to represent it on TV. And it's just a circle. Just
exactly that, yeah.
Break the mould, mate. Change it up. Get more Tods in there.
It's Disney in 2006. No one's going to be breaking any moulds. They're going to be making the money.
This was the same time they did That's So Raven. Is That So Raven?
Which also had problematic, creepy male characters, remember?
Yeah, but it was touching upon serious stuff that was,
But we're talking about the creepy male characters, and That's So Raven had creepy male characters. Boys perving on girls.
Just need to get rid of it. Just bin it off.
I think to some extent it doesn't help. But do I think it's completely inaccurate? No, I don't think it is. And young men learn how to behave around people that they're attracted to when they get older. I do feel like, looking at sexy pictures and I don't know.
Yeah, this is an interesting twist because I've accidentally made it so you're defending Hannah Montana, and you know what, Mark? I apologise for that.
I'm not defending Hannah Montana. I'm defending the lazy writing depicting something lazily, but it's not the only show that does that.
Still the defense of Hannah Montana, as well as an all-encompassing things.
I'm not defending it. I'm just like trying to explain to someone who has never. I'm sure I was a creepy kid because all kids were creepy, whereas perhaps you weren't because you were never really wanting to look at the titties.
I'd still say it's a defense, but I understand your point. Let's move on to season 2, episode 2. So this is the second appearance Dolly Parton has. The first episode she appears in, the title felt like it was going to be a really big giveaway, because I think it's literally something like Here Comes Dolly or something like that.
Brilliant.
And I was like, oh, there might be a bit of a giveaway. This one was like, I Will Always Love You. I was like, oh, we might pick up on that.
No, I didn't.
But then I was also like, season 2... We've already seen a season 1 episode. Let's see a change. And you could see some significant changes in it.
They looked so much older. Yeah. Like, I would say 4 or 5 years older from Series 1 to Series 2, which wasn't the case from Series 2 to Series 4.
Just shows the power of puberty.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe there was like a big break between them or something.
I don't remember there being. I do remember that she toured a lot as Hannah Montana
Right.
So there might have been like a big tour and then she did that, or there might have been like the pilot might have been recorded way before the rest of the first season as well. Like that happens a lot.
And that's the thing with stuff starring kids. I remember they rushed all 3 series of unfortunate events so that they could have the same baby in all 3 series. Because the baby would otherwise, within like 2 years, look completely different.
Let alone the kids that are playing the older siblings. Yeah. It was huge. So the whole premise of this episode is Hannah Montana is getting an award, as the Grinch would say, and she invites all the family down, including her godmother, Dolly Parton's character. It's very interesting because Dolly Parton is actually Miley Cyrus's godmother,
real life godmother.
Amazing. So she's called like Aunt Dolly on this, and Mima, who is also played by a very popular singer in America, but we did not know her, so no. But we're just putting it out there. And there was a rival.
But as a concept, kind of
family members.
Family members played by singers. Good idea.
And they were sort of like they were fighting with one another because there was this long rivalry where like Dolly Parton ironically stole a man from her after all those giving Jolene all that slack, and she stole Elvis Presley from Mima.
Here's the thing about Jolene, the songwriter.
Go on.
Dolly Parton looks like that. What the fuck does
Jolene
look like? I mean, who could possibly steal a man from Dolly?
I said this to you as well during the episode, and I was like, I definitely didn't realise as a kid, Dolly Parton's boobs are huge.
She's got big boobs.
I was like, I definitely didn't realise it as a kid, and watching it now, I was like, whoa.
They're big.
Whoa, yeah.
They are generously large.
But yeah, so there was the whole like theme of the episode was sort of just like not holding grudges and being able to forgive, because them two, they have a granny smackdown, as they say at the award show. It's sort of silly. That was hilarious.
It wasn't hilarious. It was kind of okay.
Some of the moments.
No.
It was funny.
I was more pleased with the 3310 than I was with anything. Do you know what a 3310 is?
No.
It's the phone that Miley Cyrus had. The really old school Nokia thing. That was the thing that I was most pleased with during the whole thing. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I tried not to hate it. And I loved Dolly.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Dolly.
Let's keep on Dolly. We'll go on more of your hates once we've gone through the episodes.
I don't have the energy.
So yeah, the whole thing was like, Miley was not going to forgive them, and then they learn their lesson because Miley forgives them, and they're like, okay, we'll forgive. That's that episode done. Dolly's done. Dolly. The John Cena one.
The John Cena one.
Everyone had something that they had to overcome. Jackson was found it difficult reading a book for his girlfriend. Miley was scared about climbing a rope. Lily, understandably, was scared about going on a horse called Blue Jeans. Blue Jeans gets injured when Lily does go on her, which breaks Lily's leg. So I just want to point out, Lily, good reason to be scared. Broke her leg, and the horse Blue Jeans, it looks like they're gonna give up because they've got a snake bite. They lay down, but then they come up. Jackson eventually does read the book after being beaten up by John Cena and told off by his girlfriend. And then Miley finally, after lying, just want to say, lies at first.
She does.
She conquers her fears and goes on the rope. So the lesson in that one was just like, conquer your fears, and you can lean on your friends to conquer it. I'll be honest, that episode, I was like, oh, okay, there's a nice message to it. I was in it for John Cena. I'll be honest.
Well, you were still pretty young when this aired, so you would have been prime John Cena kid, kind of, weren't you? Yeah.
You can't see. Oh. And I was jumping off the couch like Cena with the 5 knuckles.
Yes, dear. I don't know. This one, I liked the fact that To Kill the Mockingbird was being read by a bikini model, which broke the mould of models being bimbos. I thought that was a good idea. There was one slapstick gag that I laughed at.
Oh, the breaking that. Yeah, when she had a broken leg and she went into.
Yeah, she had a friend in the wheelchair and she bashed her leg off the door. That was funny. But they then repeated the joke 6 or 8 times and it became progressively less
It was
funny.
2 or 3.
It was enough that it became unfunny.
I'd say it was 3 because they did the little shake through and then they whacked again.
Stop defending Hannah Montana.
No, I'm not defending Hannah Montana. I'm just putting the facts there because I don't want to do fake news, mate.
Okay, dear.
I'm representing the facts. The one thing that did, like, it shocked me, and when I told you, it shocked you. So, the actor who plays Jackson in this, Jason Eccles, I want to say, he's the same age as John Cena and you, and he plays a teenager in the show. It was... People say I don't look my age.
Yeah,
I like... Me and this Jason Eccles, who I think is the actor's name, Jackson, would get on swimmingly because he was doing the Disney Channel games at like late 20s 30s. That is my ideal. I would love that. It'd be amazing. It was probably me at camp, to be honest, because everyone else in this show is like 18, like towards 20s. Miley Cyrus is older than me. I can remember that.
And
so
I do criticise American shows for casting people who are clearly older than teenagers in roles. He wasn't one that I clocked as particularly old, so there are some exceptions where people do look younger than they are. I get that.
Yeah.
And that one I didn't have a problem with.
It was just crazy to see like him and John Cena in the same thing and just think, you guys could have been in school together.
Might have been.
Yeah. The school of Hollywood.
I'd like to point out I'm a year younger than John Cena.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun. You even said you can't see me. Oh,
You did.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've delved in all the episodes. Have you got any more thoughts you want to talk about? Or more?
Not really. I don't.
More size to give?
Well, that's the thing. I don't really have much to say about it. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, and I didn't really enjoy it.
We've ripped the Band-Aid off. That will help you. We've ripped the plaster off, sorry. I know you like UK ones.
Good.
We've ripped the plaster off. So that's, I'd say, the worst of the Disney stuff we've got to do. Especially for the crossovers. Because Hannah Montana is a part of both of the crossovers we're going to do. So she was sort of like the bridge.
You're obsessed with these bloody crossovers.
I do love a good crossover. I think that's why I love the MCU so much. Because I grew up with Marvel animation that did loads of crossovers. Then Disney animation did a load of crossovers. Then Disney live action did crossovers. Oh, I just love it all. When your favourite characters interact, it's like, oh my goodness.
It was what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
It was on, it was there. I did drift off. Not like actually go asleep, but kind of like out of my own.
Yeah.
You know how you do, where you just switch off.
Oh yeah, I was like that for that. Oh, what was that one we did? The
Chimera,
yeah.
The Chimera was slow paced.
If I had the option to switch off, I might have done. But I respect the integrity of the podcast too much.
Oh yeah.
I do have a question for you.
Go on.
We realised something really big in this thing, that someone keeps a secret from their best friend. Mark, would you keep your secret life as a pop star a secret? To me. Mark, basically what I'm asking is, are you really Moby?
You're a shit. You are a shit. I was like, he's asking me that. You didn't prepare me for this deep question. No, I'm not fucking Moby. I'm not as rapey as Moby.
I'm not asking if you're fucking Moby. I'm asking if you...
I mean...
if you double lifers. Or do you put on a different wig and...
A different wig?
No. Do you put on a wig and... If you were to... Right.
I'm Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, yeah. I thought so.
You're
I could tell it in your southern tones.
Oh, y'all.
Y'all. I did pop. Whenever they said y'all, I was like, oh... That southern twang.
Only Dolly can say y'all. No one else is allowed.
No, everyone can.
No.
From the south, I mean. If you were to double life as a superstar, then would Billy Ray Cyrus be the one you want to?
No, he's about 20 years older than me, you cheeky fuck.
Alright, what pop star or music star would you like to be double lifing as? Think you do have to, like, their tour schedule would be yours, and also you'd have to be Mark the Human Celebrate. Mind you though, you wouldn't have to pay for stuff.
I'd want to be someone cool. You know how, like, Hannah Montana is liked by all of the
Yeah,
contemporaries of the character of Miley. So I'd want to be someone cool. I'd want to be Rob Zombie or Trent Reznor or anyone else who's a member of Rammstein's. Anyone else like that, yeah.
I can confirm I don't live a double life as Justin Bieber.
Do you know?
We
Good.
just happened to...
Good, I'm glad.
It was funny you mentioned before, like, when you were saying with Lily saying Hannah and you saying, oh, it's like saying the wrong word. I wonder if any, like, performers in general have had that, or, like, the big thing, we're both from the world of wrestling. I wonder if anyone's ever said the wrestler's name instead of, like, the actual person's name. Or, like, actors.
I know what you mean.
Or,
yeah. Or the characters
actors
they play.
as well, yeah.
I'm sure it's
That's
happened.
got to have happened.
There's
Someone
miseries.
Someone
like
slept with, like, Matt LeBlanc and gone Joey. And he's switched on and gone, how you doing?
I'm sure that he was mortified.
If you are a person who has a performing name and a real name, has this ever happened to you? Please write to us on Twitter.
I mean, yeah, all those famous people that listen to our
That Many
podcast.
Fan?
The Many Fan.
Oh, they don't have to be famous. They just need a double life.
Right, okay.
That Many Fan. See, that's why there's so many. Because there's just so many different people.
Okay.
We've worked it out. We've cracked it. So, Mark, I can pretty much guess that this is not in your top 5.
No, it's not. In my head, I'm glad it's not a top 10, because I don't know where I'd put it comparable to something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Which... So this, I expected to hate it, and I didn't really anything it.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! I went in with sort of an open mind and really hated it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Maybe
I don't hate this the most out of everything you've done.
I think it's a thing of, like, expectations versus reality
True.
as well. And I think expectations with this is why we do the bit at the beginning, because, you know, we want you to know our expectations and we want you to know how they live up to the reality. And
I would actively avoid watching it again. But
I tried when I was a child, but my sister still put it on. I was like, there's other stuff. We have Nickelodeon as well now. We have other channels. There's Disney Channel +1, which is showing something better. Anyway, I digress. I just want to point out as well, when I was looking, like, because sometimes we look at IMDb's for this. This has the worst rating on IMDb of the Disney stuff. Yet my sister would still
not
put
surprised.
it on. My sister would still put it on. I was like, we've got Zack and Cody right there. We've got that. So
I'm here for you during
fine.
this difficult
It's fine.
time, dear.
We've got Recess. I know we've watched that 20 times, but I'd rather watch that 1,000,000 times than... Oh.
So, Fraser,
Yes.
would you like to know what we're doing next time?
Sure. Is there retribution coming?
There isn't,
Okay.
actually. We're watching a live-action Disney, of all things.
Whoa!
I know.
The audience might be getting annoyed at us or thinking we're in
No.
Disney's... Wait. Let me just check. Oh, what's in... Oh. Yeah, we are in Disney's pocket. Sorry, I just had to get out.
We're not in Disney's pocket. You just
We're out of...
always pick Disney, whereas I've done 2.
Okay, we're not in Disney. We're in the mouse's pocket.
Whatever.
Could you imagine with little Mickey Mouse with little... Ho-ho!
Yeah, that. Anyway, I've picked one that I think I only watched the first couple of series of, because it was right...
On the cusp.
No, because I don't know whether we got it, or if we did, it was on Sky, which we didn't have.
Yeah.
But it is something that I remember watching with my family and enjoying, and there is a little bit of a story behind it, which I'll tell next episode. We're watching Boy Meets World.
Oh, nice. Something I've heard of. This just missed my childhood.
Which
this literally came off when I was getting into Disney.
I think it lasted quite a long time, if I remember rightly, but I only watched the first couple of series, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Boy Meets World and why I picked it.
I'm very excited for this.
Next time.
This is, honestly, the most excited I've been for one of your pitches.
Could it hit the top?
Honestly, I'm predicting it now. I think it might be top.
Interesting times. Say goodbye, Fraser.
Goodbye, Fraser. I'm not Fraser. I told you this. I'm Hannah Manchester. We've been Hannah Manchester and Hannah Moan Tanner or Mark Tanner, depending on...
All I want is you to say hello properly and sign off properly.
But the goodbye's done better by the outro. I ramble and the outro's just smooth.
You ramble, dear.
Yeah, no dear.
For fuck's sake. Bye.
Bye. Right in the Childhood is a podcast brought to you by the We Made This Podcast Network. You can follow the show on Twitter at RITCpod. The show's creators and hosts are Fraser Summers and Mark Adams. Follow us on Instagram at SpiderPanInsta and at MarkAdamsHC. The show's logo was created by Carl Bryant, and the theme tune was composed by Colin Jackson Brown. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy being kicked.
Hello everyone, this is Tony, Network Chief of We Made This. As you know, our podcast network brings together a brilliant assortment of talent who talk about all kinds of pop culture content, such as the episode you just listened to. We're not going anywhere, but we'd love to keep the lights on for even longer if you're able to support our network on Patreon. For just £2 a month, you get your name in lights and the satisfaction of knowing you're helping us produce more great audio. And for £3 a month, you'll get your name in lights, but you'll also get access to an exclusive bi-monthly podcast from the We Made This talent pool on podcasting, pop culture, and, well, you tell us. We'll take your suggestions. For less than the price of a coffee per month, you can help keep We Made This going. Just head to patreon.com/We Made This. That's patreon.com/We Made This. And get the ball rolling. Elsewhere on We Made This. Frame to frame.
I do find that on Please Mr. Kennedy, it always tickles me when Adam Driver pops up.
Yeah.
I think that the ridiculous insertions that he has in the song is what makes it.
Outer space. Outer space. Just all that.
It's just absurd.
I just love it.
Is very kitsch, and then you've got that.
Yeah, I just love the. Oh no! He just throws in things like that. Uh-oh! It's just great. This is the first film I saw Adam Driver in, and he's only in it for about 5 minutes, and he almost steals the entire movie. That's what a great actor he is, although obviously one must credit the Coen brothers with the brilliant attention to detail in the music and the writing and the direction, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Cerebral Jukebox.
My friend had a Nimrod t-shirt. Quite a few people I knew had Nimrod t-shirts.
Yeah.
The kind of the famous one. I think I must have seen that album cover every day.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
To me, I think Nimrod could be the perfect rock album. I don't think there's a better all-round rock album than Nimrod. American Idiot is exceptional, but there's something about Nimrod that ticks so many boxes and has so much diversity on it. I think it could be the best album ever made.
Pretty Fly, a 90s nostalgia podcast.
People like me have benefited from that for generations. Now that that's being challenged, centuries, 100%. You've got people that are understanding, and I'm not ashamed of who I am or where I'm from, but that, doesn't mean that I can't sit back and say, hey, other people catching up ain't a bad thing.
Absolutely. I just want to remind the listeners, this is a Rugrats podcast.
This has got deep and serious at the moment.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.